Hi there, in this video I'm going to talk about how to use the 60-30-10 rule for perfect color balance in web design. So this is the rule which is being used very widely in web design space to balance the color that you are using. And also if you will use this, your website UI will feel more premium and you can say more optimized and more soothing. So let's talk about how we can do it. So first, let's talk about what is the 60-30-10 rule even means. 60% means that you will use dominant color, or you can also say primary color, which covers majority of the design. Some of the things which comes in this 60% is background and large section. So make sure you are adding the dominant color in the 60% of your website, which is background and large section. Now let's talk about the 30%, which is secondary. In this part comes under supporting colors, adds visual interest, sidebars and cards and accent. So let's suppose if you are adding features of your brand or website, then in that case you can use this secondary color which will support your dominant color as well. Now let's talk about the third part, which is 10% accent. So this part of the color you have to add in buttons, links or call to action. So only 10% of the color should be used in buttons, links or call to action button. So this is what this all means. So this is just to categorize your overall color in three parts: 60%, 30% and 10%. That's it. This is what this means. Now let's talk about what is the classic formula in action. So dominant 60%, in this case you have to stabilize the overall mood, usually natural or soft tones, creative visuals, breathing room, etc. So this is what you have to do in this dominant 60%. Now let's talk about the second one, which is secondary 30%. This is usually used to support brand identity, defines key section, adds depth and structure. Now let's talk about the last one, which is ascent 10%. This commands attention, guides users and create focal points. So this is where you have to use the 10% of the color, which is also known as ascent. Now let's talk about the next part, which is before and after. What will happen if you don't use this rule, or if you will use this rule without the rule? Competing colors create visual chaos, unclear hierarchy, overwhelming experience. So if you will use too many colors in the website, it will not make sense and it will look like visual chaos. So that's why if you will use this rule, it will make more sense. With the rule, clear focal points, professional appearance, intuitive navigation flow. So this is why you need to use this rule. Now let's talk about the next part, which is what difference it makes. As I have told you already, it will help you to make visual hierarchy, professional balance in the color and also improved conversion. Because human eye see all the things in hierarchy. So if you have set up your website in a way that it guides the user to what matter most, and don't let them guesswork, guide them instantly what they have to do next and what are the most important part of the website. This is why you need to use the 10% colors in most important part of your website, which is call to action button and all, where they have to take the action direct, whether it is button, link or call to action. Now let's talk about the next part, which is real world impact. If you will use this rule, there will be faster decision making, user process balanced design more quickly. So this is why you need to use this rule. Now let's talk about the second one, which is better recall. Memorable color scheme increase brand recognition. So let's suppose if you are using the color in hierarchy or following this rule, whenever they will see that type of color, they will recognize that yeah, I have seen this color in this website, and they have organized their color in very good way. Now let's talk about the last one, which is higher engagement. So if you have a clear visual hierarchy, it will keep user exploring longer and it will feel soothing to the human eye. Now let's talk about the next one, which is why it works, the science. The first one is cognitive processing. Human brains prefers order information. 60-30-10 mimics natural perception patterns, so that's why it works. Now let's talk about the second one, which is visual reset. Dominant color provide calm space, preventing sensory overload and decision fatigue. So this is why you need to do this. Now let's talk about the third one, which is attention direction. Limited accent colors create scarcity effect, drawing eyes precisely where it needs. Now let's talk about how you can apply this rule in quick steps. The first one is choose your dominant color. Start with natural or brand base, whites, grays, soft tones that won't fatigue. So I always suggest that go with some light color, maybe gray and white, and add a little touch in the color so that it is unique. Now let's talk about the second one, which is select secondary color, which is what are the color that you will use in 30% of the website. So this is where you have to use the secondary color, so you need to finalize that one as well, and this will be used in cards navigation, and it will add personality without overwhelming. Now let's talk about the third step, which is define your essence. It should be bold, contrasting colors for CTAs. This is your conversion driver. So this is what will help you to get more sales and more conversion. Now let's talk about the fourth step, which is test and refine. When you have finalized all the designs, you can play around with it and find out which one is looking good and how it will help the user to guide in better way. So this is what our main goal is. Now let's talk about the last step, which is master the balance. So do not become present to this. Adopt your brand whitelist, maintaining core principle. So this is core principle 60, 30, and 10, and you can increase a bit more as well, like 60, 20, 20. You can do that as well, but you need to make sure that you are following the core principle. What you have to do next? Start today. Audit your existing design and see how many colors you have used and what are the ratio of the colors which you are using, whether you are following this rule or not, and try to implement this color rule, and then surely you will see that how your website is coming up. And also you need to make sure that you have to trust the process. Timeless principle used by designer for decades, proven to deliver results. Most of the high quality website that you will have seen is mainly focusing on these rules, and that's why their website are very good. So this is all about this video. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.